Well. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I'm going to assume that this fan here you can hear is running, which I can turn off. Give me a moment here. Ah, here it is. Maybe not. Hopefully you can't hear the fan up there as well. It's the only way to where I can keep my room anywhere below 80 degrees. So I'm hoping that you guys can manage at least with the top ceiling fan so I don't be burned alive. Not much I can do about that until I get a better actual microphone. So hopefully you guys can manage there. But at the very least, we're going to be talking some stuff here. What's going to be probably going to happen, this channel, stream may actually go for an hour and 30 minutes, maybe possibly 2 hours. I am not entirely sure. Entirely dependent on exactly on how things go, but I will do my best. Tomorrow will be a normal day of just response and stuff like that because I will be, catched up to everything. What will also happen as well, I've said this multiple times before, but I will do this time around, is that I will do a actual stream, I will do actual posts of, many clips of things of the stream, so therefore you guys can be able to watch. I will try to see if I can get the timestamps done here, so that way you guys get to see the timestamps, but, yeah, it's just a matter of, when this happens. Hopefully you guys got to see the notification as well. I don't know if you guys did. I did, in fairness, kind of post it a bit late, so you guys probably wouldn't have known that was happening. That's the reason why I started the stream a little bit, I would say later, or what have you. Actually, I did it earlier this time, but the way I waited was a bit longer. So, without further ado, enough rambling, we're going to be going through this. So, what we have here is, this is what we have, some crazy stuff. So, I don't know if this is the one that we want to be looking at quite yet. We're going to be doing this one first. And we'll probably do all the others at some other point in time, mostly due to the fact that, I want to do the main points that I always talk about with the stream, and then go on from there. So, without further ado, let's get straight into this. So, we have this. Texas black supremacist teacher fired by school board after racist posts. And I think the big thing here is that, the biggest thing here is we have some people that will say that, like, oh, well, this happened to us or whatever, or what have you, and that's just ludicrously, alright? We don't need that type of BS here, alright? We understand that that it happened to black people. It does not mean you go and say, oh, well, because white people did this, so black people should do it too, or it's whatever, and that's just stupid. The fact of the matter is that what we have here is, on Tuesday, self-proclaimed black supremacist first grade teacher Danielle Allen, is his actual name, was fired from her position at a school in Texas over a series of anti-white posts she shared on X, formerly known as Twitter. I can't believe Elon Musk changed his brand name to X. I don't really care about the change to Twitter in general, but the actual name to X is just so dumb. Come up with a better name. The Mesquite Independent School District released a statement condemning her comments, noting that she would never be allowed to teach there again. This is from the Mesquite ISD, I think this was called. At approximately 4 p.m. yesterday, Mesquite ID became aware of a series of alarming racist statements posted to the X, formerly Twitter, account of a teacher at Thompson Elementary. Upon learning of the situation, our personal staff began an immediate investigation as of this morning. The employee is no longer a part of the Mesquite ISD organization and is not eligible for rehire. Due to privacy restrictions, Mesquite ISD cannot comment on the details of personal matters. Nevertheless, the highly offensive statements posted to our X account do not reflect the values and standards of Mesquite ISD, and the district condemns them in the strongest terms. Now, guys, this is the continuing video from previously before, right, where I made the short, wow, that's so dumb, the short that, that she was being actively racist. This is a continuation to that. So, what we have here is, obviously, her being this. I don't think you can actually see that here. On X, Allen went by the name Claire Kyle, however, that account has since been deleted. She also has an Instagram account dedicated to fitness sports. And then we have more here. In her post, which went viral after being shared by Liz of TikTok, she decried the fact that her sister was dating a white man, calling her the biggest disappointment. She went on a post to a screenshot of a conversation with her boyfriend in which she asked him to kill the man her sister was with and promised to help hide the body. Yeah, so as we've seen in the post before, she will be going in. Now, I remember I had somebody obviously go out and on the comment section and specifically said, oh, well, for people that are in a listener or people that are just not watching or whatever, just listening, well, you should say the things that she's saying. Well, here's the thing, and I already addressed this before, but I'll be very quite obvious. Most of my content is going to be in long format, so it won't be in shorts. So therefore, if you want actual legitimate content, then you're going to have to, if I'm doing shorts, you're going to watch shorts and you're not going to get me a full definition because you only have X amount of time to actually describe what's going on or what have you before, the videos. And some of the clips that I find are sometimes a minute, even 2 minutes long. So to do a short, you need to be under a minute or exactly 1 minute. So please bear in mind that I can't be extremely precise on short form video formats or content. However, in long form, as I'm doing here, I'll gladly read you the stuff so you can so you can help please your mind. Yes, you all have found my job. They told me to delete the post, but my job is safe since I did not directly wish harm on all white people. Well, you clearly did. You wish harm on one specific white person, but you're also being shown to be very racist in general. They laughed and told me to watch what I say, and I'll be good to go. Being a great teacher pays off very well when they know your true self. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're a great teacher to all the white kids that come into your classroom. I'm pretty sure you don't treat them any differently towards the black kids at all. Just talked to the school board and my job is safe. So quiet in the corner, I told them it was a joke and they know I'm not a racist, so have fun. Right. So, everything that you said previously before was just, not a form of actual racism. We have some lips of TikTok here that's saying, breaking, testimony teacher who made a series of racist anti-white tweets, including wanting to kill someone for being white, has been fired and is not eligible for rehire. Ooh, that doesn't seem too great. Someone make the meme of her shooting herself or tripping on her bike and blaming libs of TikTok. Yeah, that would be great. I find that absolutely hilarious. Right chick here, making the comment. So, yeah. She is really not being too great here. So what we have here is obviously this. So if you guys want to know what actually is going on, we have here from Claire Kyle. Now, obviously, this is not going to be a clear view because whenever you view this stuff, it's going to be scuffed. It's going to be whatever. She says that I woke up to my sister being the biggest disappointment I've ever seen. Look at the color of the arm wrapped around my sister. My poor sis laid up with a pasty. I'm in my fucking house. Then we go, I'm inconsolable by how many white classmates does she have? My sis letting all of Europe take turns on her. What disappointment I feel right now. Our parents raised us better than this. This girl spent all of her dowry and laid up with a white. Yes, and my classmate Matt is here, just for your information. That's the guy in the black truck. Yep, he white, all of them are. LMAO, which is laughing my ass off for any person that was not born in the 1990s and so on, is true. So yeah, we have this here, her showing her racism, and I don't need to show this because I already showed this before. So obviously she's done all this stuff and what have you, and then had to call my man for backup. I can't believe she has this cave dweller in my freaking house. Did she introduce y'all? No, she didn't. Oh my god, I'm trying to stay calm. She knows I'm racist. LOL, that man looked like a straight up Trump supporter. Come for me, Dre. I promise I will help you hide the body and bring all 4 of your guns. By the way, YouTube, this is me not saying this. This is me reading a psychopath racist comments about the whole situation here. But again, I'm not going to go over too in depth with this because I already showed a video of this, a short clip of this. I'm just reading the comments for lunatics that don't understand short form content and then non-short form content. So what we're going to go here is that this is what's happening and the reality of it all. So she's been fired. TLDR. We have this that's going on here. Mitch McConnell, 81, is humiliated as she is drowned out by chance, as he is drowned out. Now, my apologies. Drowned out by chance of retire and mercilessly booed for 5 minutes straight during speech to his own constituents in Kentucky. It's almost like people are understanding the rhinos are garbage, and to understand this. Now, there are some people are showing out. They're obviously showing. There are also some people that I think, Mitch McConnell, some of these Republicans are not rhinos, etc., that don't even understand what the word rhino is. So, it's horrible. Obviously, you people need to do a bit more research if you're that type of ignorance, but it's okay. For a lot of people, in my personal opinion, I think a lot of people just don't understand, or not really know about what these Republicans, etc., are doing, right? It's just, normal in this case to where they just don't know. Because you people are working and doing your own stuff, Democrats and Republicans included. So, that being said, it's kind of hard for you guys to really do so. However, we have this. Mitch McConnell was publicly humiliated on Saturday while attempting to make a speech, as he was drowned out by merciless booing and shouts for him to retire. The 81-year-old Senate Minority Leader had been speaking at the Fancy Farm picnic, one of Kentucky's main political events. McConnell had attended the picnic and made recent questions about his health and political future after he froze mid-sentence during a press conference last month. On Saturday, that sentiment was continued by a large number of people in the audience who booed and jeered the Kentucky native. In the video footage of his speech, McConnell is completely unintelligible as the shouting of retire is heard around the room, which then descends into booing. We will watch a little bit of this here. I think he didn't get his point across, mostly because he was drowned out by probably the hundreds of people. I'm going to assume hundreds of people because I don't actually see the full audience saying and yelling "retire." Maybe Mitch McConnell, you are known to be a piece of garbage, and you're not really representing anybody of of the what Americans and conservatives value, right? It's been shown that this is the case here. We have this from Tessie Shide. Mitch McConnell met with a chance of retire today at Kentucky's Fancy Farm picnic. Of course, this person is obviously looks like she's a trans person, and they're probably showing this as like as a thing to a good thing. Well, what you don't seem to realize is, person, creature, whatever you are, is the mere fact that a lot of people that have been even keeping up even remotely in politics, both on the left and right, and this is really the right specifically because he's in Kentucky, a lot of people don't like Mitch McConnell. There are a lot of people that don't like 15 Republicans. So you're going to find a lot of unity here when it comes down to this type of stuff. Obviously, you would know this if you were not so batshit insane on talking about all this other stuff, right? But I digress. McConnell does his best to continue through the incessant jeering and according to CNN later, told the crowd, "This is my 28th Fancy Farm, and I want to assure you it's not my last. The people of this state have chosen me 7 times to do this job, and I want you to know how grateful I am." On Truth Social, former President Trump also shared the footage from his speech and said, "I agree." McConnell froze for 20 seconds late last month while speaking at his leadership briefing, being unable to complete his sentence. "Are you okay?" asked Senator John Barrasso, a former orthopedic surgeon and the third most senior Republican in the Senate. as he took his arm. Anything else you want to say, or should we just go back to your office? After a few moments, he guided McConnell away from the lectern towards his office. Another GOP Senator, John Thune, carried on with the press conference before McConnell returned and said, "I'm fine." When a reporter asked if he felt he can fully do his job, McConnell said yes, and he continued. If it raised fresh questions about his ability to do his job in the advanced age of so many of the nation's political leaders, including President Biden. Aides later said McConnell had been feeling lightheaded prior to making his remarks. Later, McConnell told reporters that the president had called to ask after his well-being. He said he told Biden he had been sandbagged, a reference to President's quip after stumbling over 2 sandbags at an Air Force Academy graduation in June. Which, here's the thing that we have with this, right? That should be pretty clear for a lot of people in general, and I think it's this one fact. Hey, welcome, good sir. Glitter. This is the thing that we're talking about here, right? This man is not liked, both by the left and the right. And we can tell that nobody really wants to deal with him. Nobody likes him. Nobody likes Mr. McConnell. I don't think anybody even likes Lindsey Graham, which I don't like him either. And there's about 13 other Republicans that I cannot name off the top of my head right now that are disliked. They're obviously, we call them rhinos. So the fact that we're seeing this happen in Kentucky, in his home state, to where people are voting for him, is a huge deal. It means that people are getting fed up with the swamp, fed up with the way the government is being ran right now, and he's just on a steady decline. We have here, in the weeks leading up to him freezing during the press conference, McConnell had also fallen multiple times. Which, okay, I think even young people can fall multiple times. Although, it is exceptionally bad for him because he's 81 years old. McConnell had fallen while getting off a plane at Washington's Reagan Airport just a few days prior, and a spat of incidents raising concerns about his health. McConnell has fallen 2 other times this year, according to the multiple reports, one of which resulted in a concussion and has led to speculation over whether he has been neurologically impacted by the spills. For the first fall of this year, according to the new CNN report, happened in February while McConnell was in Helsinki with a U.S. delegation. The Kentucky Republican tripped and fell while getting out of his car on a snowy day as he was walking to meet the Finnish president. He broke some ribs, etc., etc., blah, 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 blah. Okay, that's great and all. Here's my point with older people. I think there needs to be term limits, obviously, on a lot of our higher ups, right? I think there needs to be term limits and maybe an actual a max age thing to where people can be president or what have you. Granted, and I can understand people's point on this, if we have an age limit and people prevents people like Donald Trump to get in, and we have some other lunatic that that the older person may be the best for the job, and we have that age requirement and he can't join, but we have some other lunatic in place, that can cause a problem, all right? And I can see to where that might be an issue here, and that's something that we may have to, talk about more continuously as a country, or together as a country, to see where the best path forward is. But as of right now, I don't see where we are keeping these 80-plus-year-old people who probably don't even know how technology works, has obviously been insanely corrupt, maybe in the past 10 years, if not probably longer, and these people need to go. There have been a great negative to our society. I don't think these people fit the actual modern conservative and what have you of these policies, so I think these people need to go in that retrospect. So we'll have more here. We have much watch. Mike Pence heckled at New Hampshire campaign stop for being a traitor/sellout. Former Vice President Mike Pence was heckled by supporters of former President Donald Trump as he arrived at a campaign event in New Hampshire on Friday, with some calling him a traitor and a sellout for his role in certifying the 2020 election. In a video posted on X, a small group gathered at the entrance of the event held Trump campaign signs, and one asked, "Why do you sell out the people? Why didn't you uphold the Constitution, sir?" And, good question. We're going to look at this and why Pence was actually roasted here.
Why did you sell out the people? Why don't you stand? Why don't you uphold the Constitution, sir?
I uphold the
No, you
Constitution.
didn't uphold the Constitution.
Read it.
Sold the people out.
Can they take a picture with you?
Sold them out. Sold all these people out, too.
Yeah, so, on the January 6, 2021, the former Vice President refused to block Congress from certifying the 2020 election results, with Joe Biden as the winner, as former President Trump was pushing him to do so. During a preface on Wednesday, former Vice President Pence said, by God's grace, I believe we did our duty that day. He continued, fulfill the oath I had taken to the Constitution and the American people. The Constitution is quite clear about the role of the Vice President, Pence said. It essentially says that a Vice President presides over a joint session of Congress where the Electoral College votes certified by the states shall be open and shall be counted. Irrespective of the indictment, I want the American people to know that I had no right to overturn the election, he added. And on that day, President Trump asked me to put him over the Constitution, and I chose the Constitution. I really do believe that anyone who puts themselves over the Constitution should never be President of the United States, Pence said. Yeah, but again, you have been shown that you've been said that the American people are not your concern. That the cities of the U.S. is not your concern. How can we vote for you when you have pretty much said that the cities that are in chaos, are crime-ridden, that are pretty much on fire, and people are in danger, are saying that that's not your concern? Well, that means you're not saying that the people. That's pretty much you saying the people are not your concern at all when you're saying you don't care about the cities. So the American people. So this is just the way you get. People are seeing the BS that you are, and nobody's gonna vote for you. They hate you as long. Same thing which we have with Mitch McConnell. We have this here now though. It seems that we have a Disney whistleblower claims completely systematically persecuted conservatives, also compensated employees based on how they virtue signal. Now, it doesn't seem that this is going too great here. It says the whistleblower supplied a number of documents on to YouTuber and Scooper, WDW who said it is now our understanding that at Disney, since the summer of 2020, many employees of the company have been required to maintain their various virtuous actions within diversity, equity, and inclusion, and that diary of their good deeds was part of maintaining their job security. But not only that, but in fact it was also tied to their job compensation, if you can believe it. He added, we're talking about the bonuses that you might not receive if you went afoul of Latonda Wooten, the prior chief diversity officer of Disney, if you went afoul of her belief systems. Later in the video, WDW Pro shared some more information that his alleged whistleblower provided him. If you espouse, starting in the summer of 2020 and moving forward until today, if you espouse political beliefs in the workplace or outside the workplace or on social media, and those political or social cultural beliefs did not align with very far left views, then you could expect to be sent to HR to have some serious conversations and discussions. So if you went beyond not just filling out your Word doc where you had DEI requirements noted for your MBO document, let's say, but instead you were actually on social media saying that you supported some of conservative value, you were going to be brought into HR, he explained. And in doing this, the Walt Disney Company seems to have eliminated the vast majority of the conservative employees and have turned the company into a monolithic kind of state where everyone there is either far to the left on the spectrum or they are moderate or conservative in hiding. WDW Pro added, the whistleblower says that if they had known that what working like Disney would be like, that would have devastated them because they dreamed of working for Disney for so long. Once they received the job and they actually worked at Disney, that it was a nightmare and that they had never worked at any company like this that had them do these things and tied it into their pay. The YouTuber would also state there's an individual under LaChandra Newton who instituted a new process by which to hire people, and that hiring process is part of the DEI initiative. He stripped out the need for a significant number of applicants to meet any kind of criteria whatsoever. And also, perhaps there was an effort to make sure such candidates received a higher chance of being approved in large numbers, WDW Pro added. After making these assertions based on information provided to him from the whistleblower, WW Pro shared a document from Disney as sales that does indeed show that one of the MBOs is campaign diversity, equity, and inclusion. The slide notes create an inclusive environment with the opportunities for people to develop and thrive. People managers have further impact and responsibilities to shape the DAS culture. In order to achieve this objective, employees are required to personally participate in trainings and other educational D&I initiatives, actively contribute to creating an inclusive and positive environment, support colleagues from all backgrounds, provide and support opportunities for underrepresented talent to grow their careers with TWCDC, through opportunities such as mentorship, stretch, and special projects, career conversations, and cross-trainings, people managers. Create an inclusive team environment through actions such as prioritizing, promoting, and sponsoring attendance at or in D&I, focus initiatives, hosting team-based discussions and inclusion, and enabling all voices to be heard within a team department, people management. So, all that great stuff. So, for those who are unfamiliar with MBOs, Encyclopedia defines it as a strategic management model that aims to improve the performance of an organization by clearly defining objectives that are agreed to by both management and employees. According to the theory, having say in goal setting and action plans encourage participation and commitment among employees, as well as aligning objectives across the organization. The outlet further notes management by objectives, also known as management by planning, is the establishment of a management information system, MIS, to compare actual performance and achievements with the defined objectives. So yeah, it's kind of clear that we all know, right, that Disney is not this very right-leaning, conservative, great place to be at. I am going to assume it's a very far-left leaning company. And I'm pretty sure there are some people on the right, etc., and moderate people that are working at Disney. And I'm pretty sure there are, but as this article has been shown and and the whistleblower is saying that a lot of those people that are on the right or on the moderate that's working at Disney is being silent, being hidden, not speaking out much, because they'll be fired or heckled or etc. In this case, and that's a problem. I mean, we can't really be giving this type of stuff to Disney in this instance. Given this definition and the fact that champion diversity, equity, and inclusion is one of the MBOs outlined in the Disney ad sales document, it's likely they had to keep track of that objective in some fashion. Based on the information that's supplied to WDW Pro from the whistleblower, it appears this was done through what he's calling the DEI diaries. As pointed out by Valiant Renegade in his own video discussing the information from this whistleblower, much of this is not new, but has been very public. John Lafayette, I think that's how you pronounce his last name, I am just going to call him John, at Next TV reported in March 2022 that the Walt Disney Company created a Disney Culture Index to measure the outcomes of DEI investments, so that advertisers can understand the value of their investments in that space. Not only did they create this index, but the company's president of Disney Advertising Sales, Rita Fierro, detailed that she was hoping to triple the company's $100 million commitments from advertisements partners to DEI for 2022. She said this year, I hope we're going to triple that. We want to make sure that every advertiser who's coming to the table is taking us up on all the investments we're making in this space. Be able to use our platform to really target and build upon their consumer base. On top of this, Disney Advertising Senior Vice President of Client Partnerships, John Campbell, noted that the company was committed to promoting sodomy through ad campaigns with organizations like Equal Pride earlier this year. He told Adweek, what we're trying to do is create systematic and meaningful change in the end. I don't think your systematic change is going to be any remotely good to the solution to what you think it is here. So I think that is going to be a net negative of what you will have achieved, which it seems that Disney is not doing well in general. So here we go. On top of this, Disney's Advertising Senior President Client Partnership noted that, repeating myself, he added, none of us are here for the Heritage Month only. We will activate 365 days a year. So if clients want to work with us for 5 days or 52 weeks, we have solutions. And these terms here are all part of those solutions. Campbell went on to justify the promotion of sodomy, saying we're all in the business of reaching audiences, and if you're not reaching all audiences, you're missing out on effectively running your business and selling whatever product you're looking to sell. We've been in the engagement business for 100 years at Disney, and we just want to make sure that we're engaging with everybody authentically, and that's really where these partnerships come to life, he said. I think the biggest thing here that we have with reaching of all audiences, right? Me trying to reach all audiences is kind of asinine in a way. And what I say by this is the very far left. We have Democrats and, moderates and Republicans, etc. These people come onto the stream or view the stream or what have you. May speak their mind or watch or what have you. And that's fine. And I actually want more of these people to come and watch my channel so they get to get my opinion, my view on things, and kind of see what's really going on in the world rather than going into these, these other crazy websites and such, right? So, I'm going after a broad audience, yes, but the far left, if I try to cater to them, it's not going to work because our way of thinking is completely different, and me trying to cater to them is also asinine. Also, me as well, I'm not going to crumble or cater to the mob because, a few people are going insane. I have retorts that I like to flash back out anyways to these insane people. But Disney, there's one thing you have to understand. The majority of people are the people that are not backing up the trans stuff and what have you. Yes, there are people that would back up gays, etc., such as myself, where I don't even think the gays are a huge issue. Unless we're going to talk about, maybe the activists to where they are a problem. I think the activists, the gay activists, may be actual legitimate problem. But I think there's a lot of gays that are been silent, but they're getting tired and fed up with it. Hence why we have the production of Gay Against Groomers and a few other people as well, which I think the CEO of Gays Against Groomers was, caught being kind of insane on Tim Pool, so be as it may. As for the claim about the company persecuting conservatives or those who disagree with very far left views, there were not any documents provided. However, there is public testimony from Gina Carano and how the company persecuted her before eventually firing her. Speaking with the Daily Wire's Ben Shapiro, Carano said, "I've been through so much, and I've been so much now clearly of the bullying that's been taking place, and I saw it before." She continued, "I'm not the only one that's ever been bullied by this company, and I know that so deeply. I could share a story which would turn things around in the media, but I can't because it would sell out a friend. Everyone is afraid of losing their job," she added. Yes, and I think this is the majority of America, though, right? Where people are afraid to speak out when their job is on the line. Say, for instance, you're in California, right? And I have a family member that's exactly like this. He can't go to a certain restaurant or what have you because the fear of him, of the higher-ups, the far left higher-ups, getting wind of his opinions or what have you, and they can fire him on the spot just because of his opinions. And that's the problem. We shouldn't have to live in this fear to where we can't voice our opinions in fear of losing our job because of what our opinions are. That's asinine. And I think that's a lot of people in this country right now, to where so many people that are silent are in the majority have to remain silent because they fear of losing their jobs. Carano also detailed how individuals at Disney were specifically targeting her. How boxers head hunt sometimes and forget to go for the body. I feel like Disney or Lucasfilm or whoever it is, just certain people at that company. I feel like I've been being headhunted, and you can feel it. Carano would then give an example. Just a couple weeks ago, Lucasfilm asked an artist that they employed to erase my character and put a different character in place. And he proudly announces this on Twitter and erases my character and puts another character in place. She continued, all the fans of Kara doing were just outraged. They were like, "Why didn't you add the character? Why did you have to take off the character? Is there something wrong? Is Janet getting fired?" So yeah. She also went on to point out the double standard. They've been all over me, and they've been watching me like a hawk, and I'm watching people on the same production, and they can say everything they want. And that's where I had a problem. I had a problem because I wasn't going along with the narrative. She would also reiterate how employees within the company were targeting her. I've seen the bullying that takes place, and so when this started, that they point their guns at you, and it's only a matter of time, I've seen it happen to so many people. And I just thought to myself, "You're coming for me, I know you are." They're making it very obvious through their employees who are coming for me. And so I was like, I'm going to go down and swinging, and I'm going to stay true to myself, she added. And I agree. And as she should. And as should show so many other people, right? This is the reality that's happening in Disney. And this is the reason why I say that Disney needs to be brought down to the very last core. The people that are in Disney's hands are evil. They're not great people. They're not nice people. And they need to be taken down a peg. And that's just the reality of all things. Here we have this as well, where we have where we have Byron Donalds and MG officially move towards impeaching Joe Biden over criminal bribery. The more times they indict President Trump, the more people realize that the Biden administration is a communist regime. We have to stand up to this. We have to vote for an impeachment inquiry. Now, I would play this video or what have you, but the problem is this is 10 minutes, and I'm not going to play a 10-minute video just to satisfy you all. So that's what's been going on here. We have this as well, that we have Portland jury, which is just happened recently. Portland jury finds Antifa militants not liable in any no attack. Defense attorney declares, I am Antifa. The jury has reached a verdict in the trial of an investigation journalist Andy No v. Rose City Antifa and his alleged affiliated members, in which they found that both defendants, John Hacker and Elizabeth Renee Richer, not liable in the civil case brought against them. No filed a complaint in Portland, Oregon in 2020, claiming assault and other injuries over alleged acts of violence carried out by members of the Antifa, which began in 2019. Defendants John Colin Hecker and Elizabeth Renee Richer have been accused by senior editor of Post Millennials Andy No of assault, battery, and intentional infliction of emotional distress, which was argued before a civil jury for more than a week at the Mconnell County Courthouse. Defendants Hecker and Richer, who allegedly work as Antifa doctors, which after identifying No had led to a series of physical beatings on May 28, 2021. Were found by jury on Tuesday not liable for all these claims. Evidence provided during the trial, along with testimony given by both defendants, asserts No's claims in the complaint. And then we have here.
Get the fuck out of here, Andy! Get the fuck out of here! Get the fuck out of here! Get out of here, Andy! Fucking own, bitch!
Yeah, the jury of I would say the great and fantastic Portland found that these people were not were great and nice, and this is the reality that they were not. So we're going to go to this because we have during the closing statements. We have in 2020, Andy No filed a lawsuit in Portland, Oregon, claiming assault and other energies alleged by alleged members of Antifa. These violent attacks were caught on camera video. So yeah, we have this here. Obviously, he's bleeding from the ear. We have obviously this cuts, scrapes, beatings, bloody eye shot here. And then we have the 3 alleged Antifa respondents have found in default, and their liability for damages will likely be decided after the main trial. Those defaulted respondents are Joseph Christian Evans, Madison Lee Allen, and Corby Catherine Bela. Rose City Antifa was dismissed by the court on July 14, 2023 on grounds that its unassociated identity cannot be sued. So we have this here. Obviously, these people are evil. The trial against the remaining alleged Antifa defendants, John Colin Hacker and Elizabeth Richer, begins Monday, 31st today. Allegations. John Heckler, according to Mr. Andy No's complaint, on May 7, 2018, Hecker allegedly threw an unknown liquid onto No at a local gym, then forcibly robbed No, taking his phone. When Hacker refused to return the phone to No, gym staff allegedly intervened and got the phone back. Hacker's gym membership was revoked by management according to the court documents. So obviously, John Heckler continued on May 20th, 2021. Hacker allegedly participated in events that resulted in Andy No being beaten by a mob of alleged Antifa members. No was observing Antifa attacks on the Portland Justice Center and the Portland Police Central Precinct when Hacker allegedly approached No. Mob of Antifa then yelled, "That's Andy, get him, get him, get him," and then proceeded to chase and beat No. After surviving one beating, No was able to seek refuge in the Nines Hotel. This incident was allegedly captured on surveillance photos. So yeah, we can see that these people are obviously very kind, right? They're obviously wanting to cause immense harm to no. This is what we're talking about with Antifa, right? That these people are actively beating somebody just because they don't like being exposed. This is the brutality of Antifa, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, this is kind of obvious to us all. The trial is underway at the Mconnell County Courthouse in Portland, Oregon. The jury is currently being questioned and selected, and the judge has barred both media and public from the courtroom during this time. Update: the jury has been selected, and the trial will officially begin on Tuesday morning. But of course, this has already been gone through, right? When we started Liberty City to stand up for the First Amendment and other civil rights of clients who would otherwise have gone unrepresented, Mr. No's case was the first one we took. Antifa thugs had repeatedly repeatedly used violence in Portland to intimidate and silence journalists and ordinary citizens, including Andy. But Andy would not be silenced. Though we lost against these two defendants today, we won the settlement with one of the individual defendants and took the defaults of three of them who failed to show up before court. It is a tremendous honor to stand up for what's right in court throughout my law career. I'm very proud to have worked with Greg Michael and Dorothy Yamamoto, who started working on this case at my law firm and continued it when they formed their own practice. They took this case to trial and did a tremendous job. We all know as trial lawyers that in the end, the result is not in our hands, but in the hands of a judge and jury. They put on a great case, and Andy is an incredibly brave client who persevered for 4 years when many would have given up, changed their profession, or let the violent thugs win without challenge. We're evaluating the next steps in this case, but hear this. I will not stand by idly while violent criminals seek to silence American journalists. And this is by one step in a long journey. Thank you to all the people and stuff like that. So, yeah, we see this to where Noah was obviously beaten and what have you. Regarding May 28th, 2021, the two defendants can be held liable for battery by substantially assisting or encouraging someone to commit battery. The evidence provided as Richard and Hacker identified No, which led him to being physically beaten. The key fact was to identify an infiltrator and beat up the infiltrator. He is identifying the infiltrator as substantial assistance in that encouragement to commit assault, Yamamoto asked. So, yeah. So, we have all this stuff here to where, this is the insanity of it all. And we have by Jack Posobiec here, when the journalist Katie Discour's car was ransacked while she covered Andy's Antifa trial today in Portland. Windows shattered, items stolen, and she was not parked near the courthouse. Antifa threatened her inside the courthouse too. And we have, this is all the insanity here, right? So, what happened is that Antifa completely owns Portland. And Antifa has threatened the courts and the people there as well. So that being said, if they threatened the jurors, if they threatened the judge and all this other stuff, that means they own Portland, and they subsequently pretty much gave up everything for the mere fact to that they that Portland is now owned by Antifa and all is lost. So, I don't know what we're going to do with Portland, but it's a lost cause, and we all know what's going to happen. What we have here, though, we have James O'Keefe by the O'Keefe Media Group. We have this, a citizen journalist has revealed Best Buy is partnering with McKinsey and a company on a management training program. The program is now open to white applicants. Candidates must meet the racial requirements below. We have this here. This is from Best Buy. We're excited to announce awesome news about the McKinsey Professional Development Programs. As part of Best Buy's commitment to develop and support our employees, we partnered with McKinsey and Company to offer the McKinsey Leadership Programs. These professional development programs customize its curriculum and discussions to the unique situations, experiences, and opportunities of diverse professionals. In 2023, McKinsey is launching a new 3-month program called Leadership Essentials just for individual contributors. In addition, the long-standing Management Accelerator program will be a 4-month course geared for people managers. Best Buy will have spots available in both the new McKinsey Leadership Essentials and the Management Accelerator cohorts that begin in October 2023. Participants will gain critical skills that will enhance their leadership through a mini MBA-style curriculum. Topics will include strategy development, critical thinking, networking, and problem solving. Candidates for these programs must meet the requirements below. Additional consideration will be given to those who have actively developed plans. Currently work on an exempt salaried role. Have worked more than 1 year in current role at Best Buy. Identify as Black, Latino, Hispanic, Asian, or Pacific Islander. Able to commit the following to participate in learning sessions and small group discussions. Leadership essentials, 3 hours per week for 3 months, or management facilitator. These 3 hours per week for 4 months. Etc., etc. What we have more here is so we have what is your job title, who's your job leader, so what is your job location, who is your current HRBP, which program are you interested in, please select the following, blah 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 blah, all that stuff, and we have all that stuff here. The program is not open to white applicants. Candidates must meet the racial requirement below. So yeah, so it just shows that white people are being racially going against here, and by multiple applications. So let me make it very clear for everybody that's obviously involved with this, right? Racism includes discriminating against somebody against of any color, which is white, black, Hispanic, etc., etc., orange, brown, etc., right? So this being said, and this is when we're going back with an article saying that white people are having a hard time getting jobs in current day. And if we're going to have companies not include white people to certain jobs, that's discrimination. And I want to say that how are white people supposed to function in today's society when they're being racially against, and this is racially discriminated against, right? This is the problem I have with this. And then we have issues to where my friends in particular, and people that I know, would be racially discriminated against because they're white, because they're not people of color, or people of, or I don't even like the word people of color, people that are black, Hispanic, etc., etc. That's disgusting. That should not be a thing, and that should not be allowed. If there is racism, they should all be fired immediately, because that's the way a thing is. When we go to Best Buy, I would want lawsuits launched against Best Buy for discrimination against white people. And then I would also like all those people that are in the CEOs of those top executives or what have you to be immediately fired. Immediately fired and then jailed. You know why I want them to be jailed? It's because they're racially discriminating against people that has nothing that hasn't done anything. There's a difference between saying things, right? Between saying things, and then there's one thing to where you're actively taking the action to discriminate against people of a certain color. That's just it, right? Plain and simple. These people are not just saying things. They're actively taking the action to discriminate against people of a certain color and not using words. So this is the reason why people should be jailed. It's not because, they're saying it. It's because they're actually taking the action to discriminate against people. And we have to find ways to stop this. I mean, this is completely asinine in every kind of way. And we have there, McKinsey is partnered with the WEF and part of their Lighthouse Network, which is pushing SEL, DEI, CRT, and HGA in schools around the world. So, yeah, this is the reality that we have to deal with, right? And then, of course, we have the final one of here, where this is very sad and disappointing, and we're going to go through this.
Local park now has a new AED available in case of a heart emergency. There's just one issue. It's locked, and you need to call 911 to access it. So would you feel comfortable if help was behind a code? Stephen Hernandez went digging for answers why this life-saving equipment is locked up.
That's just like calling 911 because they get the passcode for your fire extinguisher.
If it can be done within seconds, then I think it's okay.
Bexley Park has a new...
If it can be done within seconds, you think it's okay. Listen, lady, the stupidity of that all is that, no. Because when people are frantic, when their loved one is dying, or God forbid, like their kid, which is, probably a bigger thing here, people tend to scramble, they're in panic mode, and they type in stuff. You can't do this within seconds because people are dying within those seconds, right? Think about it. You have to call 911. You have to get the access code, and then you have to use that access code. All of this, by the way, is not good, right? All this is not good, because what you're doing here is that you're taking at least 3 steps, which takes more than a couple of seconds to do, and your loved one or your child is literally dying on the ground because you have to get access to this. It's like you lack critical thinking skills. No, it's not okay that this is happening. However, when we go throughout this video, you're going to see onto why they did this, and why you're going to see me kind of defend it in a way, because you have people that are lunatics, you have people that are bloody insane, and that they will simply just allow crime and other stuff happen to where this had to be done.
Automated external defibrillator, or an AED. It's used to help people experiencing a cardiac arrest. But this one is locked in this box, and you need a passcode to access it. South Euclid Fire Chief David Sire tells me it's about preventing a theft.
The AEDs are about $1,800 a piece. We want them to be secure, but also accessible.
The fire department explains that in order to use the device, you have to dial 911. The dispatcher will then pass along a code to unlock the cabinet.
The alert will come up on their screen, and they'll be able to give the whoever calls the code to be able to get them out.
AED thefts have happened before, such as this one back in April in Portage County. Thoughts from park visitors today have been mixed.
What if someone's panicking and they don't even know if they should call 911 and they just want to react quickly and they see it's there but it's locked and then they get all flustered?
People can take.
Exactly, and that's what I'm talking. That's what my whole point about this was, that people can get flustered, people panic in very stressful situations. So obviously, this is going to lead to bigger issues and stuff like that around this area. What is this actually taking place in? I may believe South Lucid. I think. Where is this exactly? Because we will find out exactly where this is placed. I'm doing Yahoo. I'm doing Yahoo for South Lucid. I am an actual fool. Google, please. So what we do here, South Lucid, is in Ohio. So that being said, due to this, thanks to the crime and people voting blue and stuff like that, and going to continue voting blue because, you know, fools, this is what happens. The crime gets out of control, people steal things that are very important, and the worst part of it all is that we have sick individuals to where they know that it's meant for kids, they know that it's helped to prevent kids from dying, and these animals, for a quick buck, is going to steal these defibrillators in order to make a quick buck so kids cannot have access to this stuff and leads to a possible certain death to the kids. That's insanity, and that should never possibly happen. But of course, our society is in social decay. We don't have people caring for one another. And then when you have people that think like this in perspective to, oh, well, black people have been treated like this for X amount of years, oh, that's a problem. Because, you know, X problem. When you have that type of way of thinking, you think it's okay for white people to be assaulted or whatever, that's kind of really stupid, right? That's a dumb way of thinking, in my personal opinion. So, that's dumb. But the matter of fact is, people that don't look up the news, people that are not up to date on what's happening, you're gonna keep voting blue, and then when your state goes into decay, as it is in California, New York, Chicago, Portland, etc., which Antifa owns now, by the way, thanks to the jury and stuff, and jury and judge doing this whole situation with Andy No, you guys are going to have immense problems. You're going to have all these issues. And this is part of the reason why they have to do these defibrillators. Because they're $1,800 a piece. And taxpayers have to pay for this. And as businesses and stuff, you know, leave and stuff like that, you're going to get businesses to where they're not going to have this stuff because they can't pay for it, etc. You reap what you sow by voting stupidly, and you have to correct the way. Now, I'm not saying all Republicans are great, but you need to make sure that you're voting for the correct people, and obviously voting blue is not the correct way at this point in time.
anything, especially if it looks expensive and it's interesting looking.
I also spoke to a lot of people who shared thoughts, but they didn't want to be on camera, like one woman who said she'd rather see this unlocked because in a cardiac emergency, seconds matter. Chief Sire telling me he believes that time is minimal.
So I don't think the time, it takes to call and be able to get this code, it's better than not having one available at all.
This AED is the first of 3 to be installed in the city, others to be set up in Corey Park and Victory Park in the coming weeks. In South Euclid, Steven Hernandez, 19 News.
Yeah, so I would have to agree with the firefighter here. Most of these firefighters and these people are just going about their day, trying to live their lives peacefully and kindly, and you get these situations. Firefighters, they're volunteers, so they don't a lot of them don't really get paid, and stuff like that. And he's right. If you're just going to have people steal things, and you're just going to have people not care about the society at all, it makes sense. You have to lock them up so people can actually have it. I understand that it's a horrible inconvenience, but when you vote the way you do, when you vote for these people with these stupid policies, and you don't have people actually commit good things onto crime and be harsh on crime, which should be the thing that we're all being directed to, then it's simple, right? It comes down to the matter of the fact that you have to vote correctly in order to solve these problems. Again, I'm not trying to push people to vote Republican 100% all the way. There's some moderates and some, libertarians and stuff that people can also vote for as well. That may be a better solution to the Republican candidacy, right? But if you vote for these people that are far left or whatever, you get crime, you get increased crime, you get all these other issues. And this is the massive problem. When you do this, you get social decay. You get 6 scumbags stealing defibrillators for kids to help them survive. Like, I don't know how you can reach to a social decay to where people just don't care about children anymore, but that's what's happening here in Ohio. And it's unfortunate. I wish this wasn't the case. I wish that people would care about their others for more than just a second, but that's not the society that we have to live in. And when we're soft on crime, this is the result. You can't be soft on crime. It doesn't work. Obviously, we have to have some things to where we're not beating criminals up in the street every single bloody day or what have you, or maybe if you have child grabbers, and those are probably the exceptions. But by the very least, we need to do better. And when you have these situations, to when you have these all this crime, yeah, maybe it is just better to have these people have the defibrillators at least locked up. At least you can have access to them. At least you can do something. Even though all these seconds matter, it doesn't matter because either you keep it open, like the have no access code, and then you have people steal them for a penny buck, and they're gone and you don't have access to them at all, or you put a code on it and you can at least have some time to have access to them. Like, honestly. So this is the rock we draw at our place. This is what happens when you allow criminals to do what they want. You get this type of level of stuff. And a lot more other crazy things is going to happen. A lot of things that we're going to take for granted that was not locked, that was not locked up, that was not in a bad case, is now going to be hard to access to a normal, good citizens that are just trying to get by in life. And we have to do better. And the only way we can do better is by looking up the news, voting people correctly, and making sure that, we treat our fellow man. But the problem is cities are just going to be terrible. And that's just the way it is. So, guys, that's it for the stream here. This was only an hour and 11 minutes. I was able to get through this pretty easily. So what I'm probably seeing here is that a lot of my streams, if I do these, it's probably going to be an hour, maybe hour and a half at max. So it's really hard to get 2 hours, unless I'm doing like an interview or something. Then we can just ramble on a certain stuff or whatever. But I digress. As long as I get people viewing it, I can do AMAs and stuff like that, or fun stuff. But until then, not much I can do. I'm not gonna do too much here. All right, guys, that's it for the stream. I'll be putting obviously clips throughout the not today, but probably tomorrow and stuff like that. from the stream for certain clips, so you guys get to see and get to view the whole entire stream. So without further ado, that's it, guys. Like, subscribe,